Hi, this is Shadi, and today we will discuss Masahiko Kimura's secret to success or triple effort. Upon reading this, it might look like something very positive, as if you're getting some secret teaching, but the more I read it, and it's not a very long article, it's just like a very big paragraph. I'll leave it in the description down below. It struck me as if he had some type of a I don't want to say this in a bad light, because it's not some type of an OCD. It is something that he had to do. He felt that he was compelled to do, unless if he didn't do it this particular way, he would lose or he would face defeat or whatever it may be. And this is something that I myself can relate to. I had like these little types of rituals, so to speak, that I had to do exactly that in order to present a project in my architecture school, etc., because it was such a stressful time in my life. There were some things that you develop out of anxiety habits, so to speak, in order to give yourself some type of comfort. And it is no different when becoming the best in your country and winning the All Japan, and being the best in general, like Kimura. So reading them, and it might look like that's someone that's incredibly motivated in a good way or feeling good, but in a sense I do see a lot of anxiety behind it. And here you see his like strenuous workout, the 1 kilometer squat hops and the 1000 push-ups and the uchikomi against the tree, etc. So without further ado, I'm gonna go through this. It's called the Bai Do Rioku, or triple effort. This is something that's he used to do in order to make himself feel good and like assure himself that he was going to get the victory. It's not particularly the stuff that he did, but nonetheless it did help him. So under this belief, at first Kimura would do 300 push-ups daily in high school, so back when he was a teenager, and in his university in Takushoku, he increased the number by 500 push-ups daily. And after he got his first victory in college, he decided to start doing 1000 non-stop push-ups. So basically there's no sets. He would just go and do a set of 1000 push-ups to ensure his future victory. If he didn't do that, he would feel like there's no victory. So however, we know that this was just a very small part of his training, and it wasn't the push-ups that actually got him the victory, but it was just, like I said, a ritual that's based on anxiety, so to speak. That's how I see it, at least. Training 4 times a day, at least 6 hours. That's, yes, of course there's motivation, but at the same time there is this fear of failure. There is this fear of embarrassing yourself and the people around you, like your family, your friends. And I've talked about his comeback, like his losses were very much devastating and embarrassing to him. I'll link the video in it down below. So he would train at the Takushoku University, local clubs, the Kodokan, and even police academies. He would go around, just do nothing but training. And he would practice against a tree, as you just saw. And often at midnight, he would do that relentlessly. He would go all by himself in the woods. He couldn't sleep, and he would do nothing but uchikomi against a tree, either osotogari or seoe nage. His top 3 throws were osotogari, of course, even to the point where people would tell him, like, just beat me however you want, just don't do osotogari, because often people would get concussions. We saw how devastating that osotogari was against Elio Gracie. So he would often train uchikomi near in the woods alone at midnight. One night his teacher Tatsukuma Yoshijima, which I've also done a video about, who was a 2-time champion, was woken by like bustling in the woods or commotion. He went and checked it to see who was making the noise, and it turned out to be Kimura doing uchikomi against a tree. Because uchikomi, I don't know if you know this, but it has like a very repetitive and like a not so pleasant voice, like bam, 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 and at midnight, and you're trying to sleep, and it's in the woods nearby, it's gonna startle you. So he went back to sleep, and on other occasion, he would, like, when Kimura would do these uchikomi, he would come back and he would ask him, "Are you still?" And I quote, "Are you still trying to kill that tree?" This is something that, I believe this little paragraph sheds a lot of light on what kind of a person Kimura was, because, I'm from the East as well, and losing or any type of failure, you would associate it with everything around you, especially while you're growing up. And we still witness it till this day, with Mariyama, and, thanking his wife and Ono, and, he always wanted to, make his father proud by going to the Olympics, even though he won the world title, etc. So, doing these arduous rituals, like, if I don't do these push-ups exactly that, then I'm a failure and I'm not gonna win my next fight. It really shows that he was driven, in good ways and also not in so good ways. And I believe, not necessarily the Eastern culture, but any type of person who, like, driven in this particular manner, it would not be always very pleasant. We often say to them, like, they were so motivated and so strong, but I would like to, I'm sure myself that mentally they were not at ease most of the time. That's how I see it. At least they were constantly either overthinking, overtraining, because 6 hours a day, 4 times a day, scientifically speaking, that's overtraining. I don't know how he even recovered from that. So this is something that really interests me, like the mentality and what kind of people they were, not just their accomplishment, because that's just on paper. So here's what Toshiro Daigo said about him. He said, "I had the opportunity to fight Kimura once at the 1947 Kyushu University versus Kansai University individual meet. He let me attack him in the beginning, but threw me with Osotogari and pinned me. He was a powerful player." And there's also Yushimi Osawa, who wrote, "I competed against Kimura at the 1949 All Japan," which was his last competition, by the way. His last All Japan. Facing him in the second round, he beat me with Kuzure Kami Shiogetame, or the north-south, for those of you who don't know. I remember during the practice sessions, he would regularly throw me outside the mat onto the hardwood floor. So that's how driven he was, and that's how, all he saw was victory. And this is the measures he had to take in order to ensure his next victory, even in the last competition at 32 years of age. This is how much driven he was. I believe he could have gone up until, his 40 years of age. I'll cover his matches against Santana in the near future, because Valdemar Santana is a person to be talked about. So if you have anything else to add, please let me know down below. Also, consider supporting me on Patreon. I have exclusive content for the patrons only. I post once a week. And also, do not forget to check out Josh Simon's shop for t-shirts and also historical articles. This was Shadi, and as always, thank you for listening.